Mr. E, I'm gonna say this with all due respect.
Yeah.
A lot of them are wearing Pirates shirts.
Yeah, inside.
No, Pagati always keep us a Chiefs.
That's a Chiefs, yeah.
Every time when Pirates look like they score, they went,
Yep.
when Chiefs won, they went, yeah.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Diski Preview Show, where we get to give you a front row seat to what will be happening in the world of football. My name is yours truly, Mr. E, and I'm joined by my partner in crime in the studio, all smiles, because his predictions were correct. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give this time to Mo to tell us what happened over the weekend. Welcome to the show.
I don't need to say anything, Mr. E.
Oh yeah, we can see by the smile.
Yeah. my bundles are finished. I was
No, I guess your predictions were correct, and I think this is the first time, or rather that was the first time that we had a two-part prediction, whereby you did mention that on the third, the team that wins on the third will not win on the 10th, which is the Nedbank Cup, and that's exactly what happened.
I think it was a unique prediction.
Yeah.
I think most people jumped on the bandwagon of Chiefs winning the Nedbank Cup last week.
Yeah.
I was looking around, everyone was predicting the same thing. I was like, maybe Sibone ngokufana.
Ngokufana, yeah.
Some people even went as far as predicting the score. So I was like, maybe Sibone ngokufana.
Yeah. I predicted a 3-1 win for Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, you were close.
Yeah,
you
I was close, man.
Close.
It's only that Pule Modi decided otherwise, and then he hit the upright. It would have been the third goal.
Yeah, but Mr. You have a job to do. We can't sit here on ceremony. We have to keep moving forward.
Most certainly.
Watching forward.
Yeah, we now turn our attention to the PSL, and today we'll be talking about two big games that will be happening over the weekend. That's Sekhukhune. They'll be playing against the Nedbank Cup winners. That's Kaizer Chiefs. While TS Galaxy will go to Orlando Stadium to meet Orlando Pirates. The team that lost to Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at the first game. It's Vavina Noko against Kaizer Chiefs. It was epic scenes at the Moses Mabhida Stadium when Kaizer Chiefs won the Nedbank Cup for the first time in 10 years, courtesy of those two goals by Sirino, and the other one came from Captain Fantastic, Yusuf Mata. That was one of the best finals we saw over a long time. Right?
You can't even say it's one of the best finals. I don't think
it was one of the
You can't give it credit like that.
No.
Just because guys, come on.
No. We need to give it credit because for the very first time, it was a sold-out affair at the Moses Mabhida Stadium.
Yeah, but Mr. E,
Pirates and Sundowns failed to do that last year, and the previous year, and the other year. But look at it now. It was Kaizer Chiefs in the final. The stadium was full. In fan parks, it was full. Everywhere. All of a sudden, those Kaizer Chiefs fans that we last saw ages back, they came out.
Mr. E, I'm gonna say this with all due respect.
Yeah.
A lot of them are wearing Pirates shirts.
Yeah, inside.
No, Pagati always keep us a Chiefs.
That's a Chiefs, yeah.
Every time when Pirates look like they score, they went,
Yep.
when Chiefs won, they went, yeah.
Yeah.
So you must remember that, Mr. E, it's the hunger to win it. It was the desire to win it. Anyone was there to win it. Look at the media trophy parade that's happened in Nedbank Cup.
Yeah.
You'd say that these guys won the CAF Champions League.
Exactly. Everywhere. Everywhere in the streets, people were celebrating. I even saw my neighbor. I didn't know that he was a Kaizer Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
Now I can go and sit with him when they play.
I have Kaizer Chiefs shirts on my WhatsApp from people saying, "Good goose Kaizer man."
Yeah, for sure. It was a happy scene. I think I would like to say at this time, congratulations to Amakosi. They did very well, and all credit goes to Nabi. I think we can safely say now he's one of the most successful coaches for Kaizer Chiefs in the last 10 years.
Yeah, by a country mile.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we said in January, Mr. E, that without a trophy, Nabi's influence, his impact will not be felt.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, we've forgotten about the year. We've forgotten about where we are in the league.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, but it looks like everything has been forgiven.
Yes, everything has been
forgiven. And it shows you that at this moment in time, if they didn't win this trophy,
Yeah.
someone was supposed to be blamed.
Yeah.
It was either gonna be.
But I can assure you, if he had lost the game, Navi,
We'll be
I
talking
think he
a
would have
different story.
packed his things and his bags and
Yeah, I
left
know.
Kaizer Chiefs.
But at this point, it buys them time, Mr. E. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing about this trophy is that it really buys them time.
Yeah.
Because not only is it an opportunity for them to be able to cool down for a few months and plan again for the season ahead.
Yeah.
But it also gives their fans confidence in what they're doing as a project.
Yeah.
For the role players behind the scenes like Abo Kaizer Jr.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
now breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
His project can now, move forward knowing that very well that they've got a trophy behind their backs. They got the backing of the club now.
Yeah.
They got the backing of the fans.
Yeah.
And Unabi can now also look at the next season as the project.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said last week, that the league is not really a priority for Kaizer Chiefs at this
Yeah.
moment. Even if they play to get into the top 8 now, they're just playing to get into another cup.
Yeah.
It's going to extend their schedule.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's not take it for granted that Orlando Pirates, who didn't have the CAF Champions League schedule the season before,
Yeah.
have done well for a team that had an additional amount of games added
Yeah.
to their calendar. And to have gone all the way to the semifinals of the CAF Champions League, those players are tired.
Tired. Yeah.
They're traveling, they're
Yeah.
playing. Imagine, since
You could even see that when they played against Kaizer Chiefs at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, that they were short of legs. I think
Yeah.
most of the jewels they were like a second or two late.
Mr. E, Kaizer Chiefs started their season, if I'm not mistaken, in September.
Yeah,
In August,
yeah,
when Sir Ivan was announcing that illegal color this weekend, remember?
Yeah.
And we were confused, illegal color this weekend. And then it was the MTN 8 that kicked off the season.
Yeah.
Pirates was there starting the season.
Yeah.
With the MTN 8. So now you're looking at Pirates' journey this season. They played in the MT8.
Yeah.
They played in the CAF qualifiers.
Yeah.
They played in the CAF Champions League. They played every trophy possible.
Yeah.
And I personally will have to forgive them because of that schedule.
yeah. It was so hectic.
We've seen what the schedule can do to clubs.
Yeah.
To play every trophy without the squad depth, without the transition of new talent coming in, the way Jose Riviero handled the departure of Saleng from the limelight to the addition of Mufukeng, the way Tito played the whole season. Evidence Mahop. I'm even shocked that these guys managed to make it to the end of the season without getting injured. In between that, it was the Bafana games for Evidence.
Yeah.
You understand? So
we're looking at a situation whereby the core of Orlando Pirates team played well over 50 games throughout the whole season.
Mr. E.
Yeah, because it was the CAF Championships, championship, as you said, it was the national team. You also had all these cup games. So it's well over 50 games, and that does take away your legs out of you.
100%. I mean, for me, Sundowns this season was a reflection of, having to have played so many games the previous season and then this season as well.
Yeah.
When you looked at the injuries that happened to Abozwane, I mean, those players they played so much that they need breaks.
Yeah.
You can't expect Utumchita Uzoba Imshini the whole season
yeah.
to play every game, every minute.
You need to re-energize somehow.
At some point,
Yeah.
I remember a good friend of mine said, he's a football coach, he said, you can't finish the season with the same players we started with. And for Pirates, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Those players, Abo Sipo Chaine,
Yeah.
Abo, they've played, Mr. E. They've played.
Makate.
And we spoke about Kaizer Chiefs having a week's rest
Yeah.
versus Pirates for the 3rd of May.
Yeah.
And then you look at it coming into that week, Pirates was playing catch-up games.
Yes.
In the league.
And Kaizer Chiefs was idle at that time,
You
waiting for
understand?
them.
Just waiting for them. So, Oksala, Mr. E, I think we have to give Pirates the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
I always say that in sports is the only place where you don't celebrate coming in second.
Yeah.
But everywhere else in the world, in the real world, you'll celebrate finishing in the top 10.
Yeah.
So let's give Pirates their credit and say, listen, for you to be second in the league, for you to have finished in the semifinals of the CAF Champions League,
for you
to have gone to the semifinals of every other competition you played, and then also getting to the final of the Nedbank Cup.
Yeah, we need to give them credit.
You have
for
to
that.
give them credit, Mr.
And all that was because of the mastermind, the man himself, Jose Ribeiro. And by the way, I think in the last game that they played against Golden Arrows, he was beating them farewell because that was his last game. The Spanish guitar was playing the song for the very last time.
Yeah, Mr. E, and the longest-serving coach of the PSL era for Orlando Pirates.
And successful as well.
I mean, he's contributed a lot. He was being compared to the likes of Rudy Kroll, who won the treble. But let's remember that this era of his time.
Yeah.
It would have been great for him to finish the season with all the trophies.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be.
You can imagine if he had won the Nedbank Cup and gone on to win the League Cup. It was going to be crazy scenes in Orlando.
It was going to be a crazy scenes, but he's given them so much. I mean, for the past 2 seasons, he's been going head to... I mean, he's built, at this point, one of the most entertaining teams to watch in South African football. Pirates are value for money in that regard. No one can take that away from them. Sundowns can sometimes be accused of being boring in terms of the way they approach the game. But in terms of the Pirates, you can't accuse Pirates of being boring because of the way they play their football.
Play the game,
So it's been value for money for the fans, value for money for the chairman. And I think when you look back at his time now, we'll appreciate what he's done, you know, for the Orlando Pirates. But the big question is who's going to come in and take those shoes. I still say Rulani must come back home.
Well, for now, I know Unligazi, Usaibambi. Now coming to the game that we're taking a look at today's Sekhukhune Kaizer Chiefs, so in celebratory mood right now after picking up that Nedbank Cup. How should they approach this game? Don't you think there's going to be a little bit of complacency because they've fought for what they wanted for the past 10 years and managed to get it? Now they're going to focus on the 3 points to try and go up the table and finish in the top 8. And they're going against a team as dangerous as Sekhukhune.
I think at this point, Mr. E, the main thing will always be about, you know, focusing on the games to come. But I'm afraid at this point the Kaizer Chiefs is too much in a celebratory mood to be worried about what's going to happen in this game. It's right. So it's right. It's great. It's like your friend FIFA, then
right.
So I think for them it's one of those things now of you have to worry about next season. I think at this point the league is gone for them.
It is gone. It is gone.
And they should take this opportunity against Sekhukhune in the last few games they have to actually give a chance to the youngsters. The birds from the DDC.
But it will be important for them if they finish in the top 8 because let's look at some of the successes of Kaizer Chiefs this year. I think they came in later in the year. The Nedbank Cup, they've picked it up, not as runners-up to the winners, but as the holders of that Nedbank Cup. They've qualified for the Confederations Cup. All right, that's the second thing. Now they need to they need to finish in top 8 so that they can compete for yet another trophy in the next coming season. So that's going to be a plus for the coach and his CV.
But there's bigger fish to fry, Mr. E. I mean, right now we're talking about Sekhukhune versus Kaizer Chiefs. Sekhukhune is third in the league. They're sitting on 45 points. They're sitting on 26 games played, 13 wins, 6 draws, and 7 losses. When you look at Kaizer Chiefs, they don't even have double-digit wins in the league. They're still sitting on 8 wins for the entire season.
They've been focusing on cups.
And to be honest, like you have to give yourself. It's one thing to be excited that they won a trophy. It's another to think that Kaizer Chiefs is stable enough to go finish in the top 8. And add another trophy to their calendar. If adding another trophy to the calendar was stressful for Pirates in terms of where they are now at the end of the season, can Kaizer Chiefs afford to do that?
I don't think so.
I'm not saying they shouldn't go win the next few games, but I'm saying if they do win the next few games, find themselves in the MTN8, find themselves in the CAF Confederations Cup, play those 2 schedules, and still play the PSL, and still play the Nedbank Cup, and still play Black Label.
They might not be ready for
We might be sitting here next season talking about them in the same context as Manchester United in England and Tottenham, fighting for 17th.
For 17th.
So we don't have a 17th. We'll probably be fighting for 15th.
That's relegation for you.
So at this point, you have to ask yourself that question, Mr. E, because the one thing about it right now is that
maybe all they need to do is to open their checkbook and try and get some more players because in terms of depth, we know Kaizer Chiefs doesn't have depth.
But yet they're attracting the wrong players, Mr. E. The problem with Kaizer Chiefs is not getting players, it's getting rid of players. That's the problem.
As we mentioned.
When last have you heard that Kaizer Chiefs sold a very high quality player to another team? It doesn't happen. And that's the problem there is that because they're not in Africa enough to sell players abroad. They're not doing it locally for teams abroad to be like, we want that player, this player. So the reality is that they're stuck with these players. Even if like I said at the start of the season, even if a new coach comes to Chiefs, his problem won't be getting players. They'll say, no, the checkbook is open, get whoever you want. But you're getting players on top of players that are already there.
So what are you going to do with the ones who are already there?
So now you have to run out their contracts. Mele Bahlali play a bench, get frustrated. There's no way. It's a very frustrating situation. You have a club where all these players are coming in, none of them are leaving. You have a club where coaches are coming in with new strategies, buying players for those strategies. What happens when you leave with your possession of football? You leave your players. I come in with my counter-attacking football. These guys can play possession football.
So you need to bench them.
You need to
try and run out the contracts.
But now you're benching a player who's occupying about 200,000 rand per month in salaries. You understand what I'm saying? So now you look at the players who've moved on, Abu King and Dolly. You understand? They've moved on for free.
After being bought for large sums.
Exactly. The contract is gone. Now the player is moving on for free. So the reality is that Chiefs has gotten to a point where success was their demise. Because at some point they were the best team in South Africa, or maybe one of the best two teams in South Africa. They had all these big names, but they didn't know how, they couldn't offload those big names. If you look at Sundowns is different because players are leaving Sundowns and going to Abu Wydad, going outside the country. I mean, Abu Pesi gone long time ago abroad. So Sundowns, because they're killing it on the continent, they're able to offload players. So Kaizer Chiefs' problem is not acquisitions. It's getting rid of players. Because now, how do you say you guys have the best DDC side according to the trophy this season? Those players need to graduate and come
into the first team.
So what about them as well? Because now you have an influx of players that need to come in. But what about these ones that are already
here? We need to graduate.
What about Ashley Dupree? Are you going to say that Ashley Dupree had a good season? Are you going to keep him?
What are you going to do about it?
You understand? Lilepo, I believe, is a good number 9. If only he gets transitioned into that position. Are you going to get another winger? Or are you just going to take Umdu? You understand? Like, it's one of those things. The problem is, make space.
Make space.
Don't get more
for the other guys. Okay, fantastic. Now let's get into the prediction side of things. With Kaizer Chiefs hoping to finish in top 8, will they be able to beat Sekhukhune as they travel to Sekhukhune?
I think, Mr. E, I see a draw or a loss for Chiefs in this one. Sekhukhune, I think, have the gas.
Is Kaizer Chiefs still celebrating?
Yeah, no, they're still celebrating. Mr. E.
The hangover is still there, man.
I was alone.
7 million, man.
Yeah, I was alone. But in the PSL, I swear,
Okay.
I mean, even the fans right now are still, they're not online yet.
It's celebrations everywhere.
WhatsApp.
I saw a taxi this morning. They still have the flag for Kaizer Chiefs at the back. I was like, what day is it today? Hey, it's a Wednesday, man.
Someone said to me, why is Kaizer Chiefs colours and ANC colours looking similar lately?
Well, folks, those are the predictions of Fumo. He's saying it's going to be a big one for, rather a big task for Kaizer Chiefs to beat Sekhukhune because they are still in a celebratory mood. They still have the hangover of that 7 million rand check from Nedbank. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at another potentially explosive game that will take place at Orlando Stadium, where Orlando Pirates will welcome TS Galaxy.